Hello, this is Terry, and this is going to be part 12 of my teardrop camper build. And in this part, I'm going to be installing my doors. And I've got, here's my doors that I'm going to be installing here. So they're pre-made, and I've got a passenger and a driver door. I'll be installing those. And hopefully I can get those done relatively easy, and if it goes well, then I'm going to also start on putting on the ceiling. Let's go ahead and get started on the doors. Okay, I've got the door in there temporarily and just got the just a little piece of wood clamped on to the side to kind of hold it in. So let's go on the inside and see the spacing on the door opening. Okay, I'm looking for spacing on the top and also on the bottom here. And I think right now that's probably a little bit more than I should have. I did put some shims in here, so it might be a little bit too much there, but you know, I could still probably live with that. And the sides are about right, or good. I could just have to eyeball those, so I might need to adjust those shims. But the main goal is to just evenly space the spaces on the top and the bottom and on the sides, and make sure that it's vertical and horizontal. And then I can start on the outside and just drill some temporary holes in and just see how things are doing at that point. So maybe I'll adjust these shims to maybe open the gap on the top a little bit more. I got my shims. I actually wanted this to be the height, so I actually put them in there wrong, so that's the way they should be mounted on there. So let me mount these back on and then put that door back in, and let's see if I got it evenly spaced. I've actually got a nice space here, and going on the bottom at let's get here if you can actually see space right there, and I think that's evenly spaced there. So those shims are good. So I just got a space from side to side, and matter of fact, that even looks fairly decent right there. Maybe a little bit more on this side. So I'll move it over just a hair and see how that goes. Okay, I moved it over, and look like I got the same amount of space on the sides now, which is good. So I think we're good. So let's check it and make sure that it's square. Before I start mounting the door, one thing that I do want to do, I watched the Oregon Batman teardrop build series, and he installed doors exactly like this. And one of the things that he recommended was, see, I've got a mounting hole here and a mounting hole here on the side of the doors, and he recommended putting 2 more holes here, because that is a fair amount of distance between the holes compared to on the sides and on the bottom. So I think I'll go ahead and drill those holes there and use the screws that were supplied. The sides kind of move around when it's being pulled and it's raining hard or whatever. If it's going to leak, it's probably going to leak through the side here. I mean, one of the corners, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and drill those holes. I got my doors in. I'm trying to put the inside trim on, and it's not fitting very well, and I've got two problems I got to remedy. The first problem is on the deadbolt latch, this retaining plate here. I've got screws, these two screws, they are going so far in that they're not really, they're hitting my trim piece that's sliding in. So that's one problem I've got to fix. I've got them backed out right now, so I got to cut a notch or cut a hole for that so it'll fit flush to the side of the wall. And on this side, there's a seam where the door were put together, and there's some pieces of steel on the rivets that's sticking out here. And even though I've got, you know, to me, this is almost plenty of room, at least over 1/8 of an inch. This is still hitting those little rivet studs there. So I've got to notch out this side of my trim so it'll fit in there, so it'll fit flush against the wall. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll try to put this back in, and hopefully it'll fit. This is the notch I got to cut out for the rivets there. So I'm going to somehow try to Dremel cutting bits if I can cut that out. And then I'll worry about the holes for the two deadbolt plate screws. Yeah, I managed to notch my trim out where these rivets are putting the seam together for the door. So I used the hacksaw to just notch that one part out that I showed showed you earlier, and also the screws that were hitting the screws here going in and hitting the plate or the trim out here. All I did was I just unscrewed the screw here, and I got a drill bit and just drilled through that. So it drilled a hole into my trim. So now these screws will go all the way in. So I got that done. Everything seems to be, I got the trim so it'll fit the seam where it comes together. It seems to be flat all the way around, so it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and mount these with some screws. Okay, the doors are installed. The trim is on the inside. It looks good. I'm just going to got the keys. I'm just going to make sure the functionality of the doors is good. This is for the deadbolt, the bottom one, and the deadbolt is in. Let's take the deadbolt off. Deadbolt's out, and this is just a regular, just a regular door lock here. We're going to operate this thing, and that's the door lock right there. So door lock, and then the deadbolt, and of course you could have, you know, you could do both of them. So I got the door lock and the deadbolt in. So works really good. I've checked the other side too, and they work great. And also, even though they're two different doors, the keys are the same, which is great. So at least I don't have to take around two sets of keys, one set for each door. So that's good. I almost forgot, the doors included this vinyl strip that would cover the outside screw heads. So I'm going to be installing those too. I decided to come outside. It's a beautiful fall day. It's probably about 73. So that's a cool day for here, for sure. A lot of leaves are falling, so I decided to pull the old camper out and work on it out here and put this vinyl on. So I'm going to set this down here. It took me a while to actually figure out how to install this vinyl. And I guess it's a little trench here with the screw heads on it. So the best way to do it is to pinch with my right hand and push it in with my left, and it goes in really easy. I've just never done this before, so I'll do this all the way around, and I'll get back and shoot it and show you what it looks like after I get done. Yeah, that vinyl insert, that turned out really good. Can't see the screw heads at all the way around. So all I got left to do with the doors is, like I said before, caulk with some sealant around it, and also put those rain eaves on it. And I've never put a rain eave over these type doors either. Matter of fact, this is the first time I ever put these type of doors in anything. So I got to figure out exactly how that works, especially now that I've got that in. I couldn't put that plastic vinyl in with it on, so inevitably you put the plastic vinyl in first and then go ahead and screw on and add the rain eave. So I'll figure that out and get that done now. Like I mentioned, I'm new at this. Before I can put the eave on and do any type of caulking, the beetle tape that I use to waterproof the door to the side it's been oozing out, which is it's supposed to. So I'm going to take that out, and the best way I figured out to do that is just use a small flathead screwdriver. And I didn't want to use an X-Acto knife or a razor blade because I didn't want to cut into my PMF. So what I can do is actually just kind of scrape it like that, and it actually comes off. Enough of it will come off that the caulk will cover that. So I'll be taking this excess beetle tape overflow squash off. I'm going to put that rain eave on, and it looks like it's fairly simple. You just slap it up there, and I've got some self-tapping screws I'm going to use. So let's see how this works. I received my ProFlex RV sealant yesterday, so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll put that around the doors. So I'll just do the other side now and call these windows done. I've got my other door caulked, so I'm officially finished with the doors now. I think they turned out really well. Yeah, I think they'll work just fine. This is going to actually wrap it up for this build video. I was going to also try and get the ceiling wrapped on in this video, but that's going to be in the next build video, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch my series. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time when we start rolling on the ceiling.